Hello and welcome to this installment of the Homeowner Education video series brought to you by SellMyHouseInc.com. My name is Jim Cremella with Sell My House Inc. Today's video we are going to be covering whether or not you want to sell in this market. And bottom line, we all know what the media is saying. You know, the media is pretty much driving the economy at this point. If you have to sell your house, obviously you have to sell your house for whatever reason. But expect to become realistic in what the market's doing. The market over the last couple of years has really given back most of, if not all of, the gains it saw in the early part of the 2000s, especially if you're in Florida. Florida saw some of the largest appreciation gains in the country. It's also seen some of the largest downturns or deflation as far as, or depreciation for your houses in the last couple of years. So bottom line, honestly, if you don't have to sell your house or are thoroughly motivated to sell your house and you really don't have a place to go, you're thinking, well, this house is just, maybe it's time to move on, I would hang on to it for at least a couple of more years, just until the market does flatten out. If you have to sell, you have to sell. If you get transferred and you have to go somewhere else, that's not really an option. You just have to swallow whatever you can get and move on. The best piece of advice we can give you is you have to be realistic in this. If the market is saying that the house is worth $180 and that's where prices are going to sell at, don't sit for 6 months and have your house on the market for $200,000 with a real estate agent who says, oh, I can get you $200,000. Because bottom line, if the market's not there and you don't have a lot of buyers beating down your doors, then it's not going to happen at $200,000. Just become a little bit more realistic on what the market's going to allow it to happen. Best rule of advice is if you do decide to list with a real estate agent, which vast majority of people do, and there's a lot of great real estate agents out there. I know and work with many of them. What I would say is have them draw up a comparable sales report from around your neighborhood. Recent sales that have happened within the last 3 to 6 months. Past 6 months, it's not really worth it because who knows what the market was 6 months ago. So you really want to stay within that 3 to 6 month range. The newer the sale, more recent the sale, the better off you're going to go. But find as many comparable houses as you can and kind of come up with the real estate agent what you think the house is worth based off of those numbers. Don't go off of, well, I had an appraisal done 2 years ago, because again, the market has come down a lot in that amount of time. All right, so really brainstorm with your real estate agent about, and it really depends on your time frame too. If you can last a year and you don't have to sell right away, then obviously you're going to have a little bit more leeway on what you want to offer for your house for sale. You have more patience that way. But if you have to sell within 90, 60, or even 30 days, that's where price really comes into play. There are buyers in this market. I am a buyer in this market. But like every other buyer in this market, we're looking for good deals. We want to know that, we're going to be safe in our investment, whether it's a primary home or an investment home. We want to make sure that we're safe for the market to continue to come down. I personally, and again, this is just my personal opinion, I don't feel we'll see a bottom in the Florida market or specifically the Tampa Bay market for at least another year. And even after we see the bottom, don't plan on us skyrocketing back up to where we were. Just because we bottom out by the end of 2009 does not mean you're going to see much more than a 3, 4, maybe 5% gain in appreciation. There's just not that much demand going on, especially with the economy still going downhill. I don't think the economy has seen the bottom either. We've still got a lot to go in the credit markets and stuff before we really see a bottom there too. So as far as to sum up with this video on selling your house, if you have to sell your house, you have to sell your house and you have to be realistic on what price you can get for your home. If you don't have to sell your house, you just want to kind of test the waters, I would say maybe it's better for your pocketbook and your financial well-being to stick in that house a few more years. Maybe put a little bit of money into some renovations of it, update the kitchen, put new cabinets, kitchens and baths, usually where you get the most bang for your buck on renovations, but stay in the house a few more years unless you have to sell. Okay? Once again, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. My name is Jim Cremella for Sell My House Inc., and until next time, to your well.